Hello everybody! We're going to practice something today called lines. Lines are something in art where we take our pencil and we start at one point and we go and stop at the other point. So a line is just one single mark. It is not a mark that goes around to make a shape like a circle. It's just one spot to the next spot. One spot to the next spot. So on this worksheet you're going to practice making different types of lines. First thing I'm going to do is put my name on the top right here. And then I'll start with this first box right here. These are straight lines. You are going to practice what I practiced right here in this box, and you're going to practice in the blank box. So straight lines, just try and copy with your pencil what I did. Straight lines go from one point to the next. They don't have any lumps or bumps in them. They are straight and tall, just like how you stand in your lineup line ready for the hall. So fill up your box with a bunch of straight lines. They can be short or long in any direction. Okay, next, curved lines. Curved lines are like straight lines, but they have a lump in them. So they kind of remind me of a rainbow, or a smile, or a big hill. They can be small or big. So just try and copy some of the lines that I made in that box. Fill up your box. Next, wavy lines. Wavy lines are like what you would see in the water. They have lots of lumps in them. They're like curvy lines, but lots of curvy lines put together. So I can make many wavy lines and fill up my box. They can be short or long, tall or skinny. Okay, next, zigzag lines. Zigzag lines are like lightning bolts. They go straight, 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 straight. They kind of remind me of triangles. They can be short or small, big and tall, any direction. Almost reminds me as well of shark teeth or mountains. Okay, next, loopy lines. Loopy lines go up to a circle and come down, and up to a circle and come down. They can be big or small, tall or long. These remind me of curls. If you had curly hair, you might have loops in your hair. Okay, flip to the back. We have a few more lines to practice. This one is dashed lines. Dashed lines are little tiny lines all together in one row to make one big line. Kind of like how you look when you're standing in the hallway all together with your class. They also remind me of the lines in the middle of the road. Or, if I put them up and down like this, raindrops coming from a cloud. So practice some dashed lines. Okay, next, dotted lines. Dotted lines are little tiny dots all together in one row to make one big line. This also reminds me of when you stand in line in the hallway, all of your classmates in one little row. They can go any direction you want. Left to right, up and down, any direction. Okay, next, crisscross lines. Crisscross lines are straight lines that go and connect in an X. So I go criss, 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 cross, 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 cross. They can go up and down like a fence, or side to side. All right, almost done. Castle lines. These are very tricky, so just try your best with these. These remind me of the top of a castle or big buildings in a city. So I start at one point, over, up, and down. Kind of looks like little mini squares or rectangles. If you're not getting this one, you can go over to my practice and try and trace it so that you can get the motion with your hand before you do it yourself. But I go up, over, down, over, up, over, down, over, up, over, down, over. Okay, last, this is the fun one. This is overlap. Lines that share a whole bunch of space. So I can crisscross my lines. I can go swirly lines, lines that are all over the place on top of each other, overlapping each other's space. Okay, now I have finished my worksheet. I'm all done. I can raise my hand. I'm ready for the next part of today's lesson. The next part of today's lesson, we are going to make something called a landscape. A landscape is a picture of an outside scene. Notice my picture here. Some hills, a sun, a tree, and a house, an outside scene. So you're going to start with this worksheet and try and copy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just like we did with Pete the Cat. And then you'll copy it on your separate piece of paper here. So I'm going to turn my paper going long ways so I can copy a long landscape, put my directions to the side, and I think I'm going to start with a pencil, just in case I need to erase if I make a mistake. So I'll start with the first box here, and I see some lines we just practiced. I see some curvy lines. These are for the hills. So I'm going to start with one curve, then go the other side, curve, 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 until I meet that hill and stop. Curve, 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 and stop. Okay, next box looks like there's a sun and some more hills. So I'm going to go curve, 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 stop, and curve. And there's a curvy sun in the middle poking up. And it looks like there's some straight lines coming up from the sun, the rays of the sun. All right, next I see some wavy lines coming from the sun. All right, what's next? Oh, I see some crisscross lines on this hill. Crisscross starts with straight lines and then they change direction. Straight lines going the other way. Okay, what's next? Oh, in this box right here, I see some more lines on this hill. I see some dash lines, some zigzag lines, loopy lines, dotted lines, straight lines, wavy lines. Okay, what's next? Ooh, there's lots of details that I added here. I added some birds in the sky, a house on top of the hill, a tree, some branches, straight lines for the branches. I see some more line patterns on these hills, wavy lines, zigzag lines. What else do I see? Oh, I see some circle patterns on here. Repeating a circle, that's a pattern. All right, this looks great. I think I finished my landscape. If I want to add any other details that aren't on this worksheet, I can still add my own details. I can add something else in the sky, or maybe some people way back in the space there. Okay, now it's time, if I finish this, to add some color. I think I'm going to start with my markers from my marker box. What I love to do when I finish a whole work of art is take a dark marker and go over some of my lines. This is called outlining. I love to make my lines nice and dark so that they really stand out. And I'll go over all my lines with different colors. I can switch colors, put the cap on, snap. Outline some more of my lines. Trying to stay on my lines as best as I can. And I'll keep outlining and coloring. I can switch to some of my crayons if I like. Take some of my crayons and shade in these nice spaces right here. Different colors and shade. Maybe I'll color the sun yellow. Okay, so your job for the rest of class time after you finish your practice is to keep working on your landscape. Keep adding colors and lines.